Seeing how we are the first on the planet to experience things, we have an earlier understanding of taking advantage of the cave system and utilizing them for seeking refuge, running away from maybe animals and rainy seasons. Sometimes when you're migrating from point A to point B due to greener pastures, it's good to know where you can lay down, where there's accommodation and fresh water. So you see, so we are aware how the cave system works, but it's not our forte, okay? But we have used it as a fort during the Mau Mau period. As you can see in the Mount Kenya region, there's an elaborate cave system where the warriors used to use the cave system to survive and build up their energy to go and fight back. Because what's legal is not law. But you know, when you're dealing with people who play with words, fraudulent conveyance of language, something that they can be prosecuted and locked up for, being a con artist, playing with words and making people believe stuff, and building beliefs like religion. You see, the problem is really multi-edged. You don't even know where to approach this problem. You go to mention this, you got to mention this, you got to try to approach this, you got to hint to that. Before you get to the third, you're quite exhausted. The other thing, the European plays with our mindset because he does not provide the fiat for you to enter this game of UCC1, Uniform Commercial Code, you know, because all these countries that are registered to their headquarters in the UN, they have all agreed to unify their commerce and put it in easy to access code book. So when you're dealing with them, anytime they're holding you hostage, pretending that you have violated this civil ordinance or this civil code, those are not laws. They're just codes and ordinances. And all they want is fiat. So they're living up to their Uniform Commercial Code. They want to exploit us for fiat gains, financial gains, you know? So, you know, we just need to educate ourselves in terms of what's really happening. But the system is rigged. The churches are on top of the game, but only like the Pope and a few others are in charge. The rest are just worker bees, you know? But the Pope is really playing the whole game on both sides. Yeah, he will make sure that your country is attacked so they can bring the demonic autocracy, aka democracy. Once they bring their demonic rule, then they don't have to attack your country. If you don't agree, they will demonize and villainize your leaders and attack your country, destroy what little you had developed. And then when you're beat to the ground through heavy propaganda and press propaganda, they bring the demonic rule, aka democracy instead of multi-party. They don't want to do multi-party. They want demons to rule. And then it's difficult because, you know, we don't even understand the concept of positivity and negativity because somebody has decided to do anthropomorphic of these subjects. Like to pick up the sun and give it a face and a body and call it Jesus, that's anthropomorphic, you see? So to pick up the negative vibe and call it Satan or Lucifer, that's anthropomorphic. it's necessary at some extent to teach children so they can have a reference point. But it's unfortunate when you're 70, 80 years old and you're still reading from the children's book. And that's what they have done to us. Yeah, our books are kasukus. So all we are parrots. We repeat stuff that we don't have no valid, substantial facts regarding the subject. You know, traditionally, the original and authentic way to baptize yourself or to baptize oneself is to do it yourself. That way is a clean process. But if someone else is pouring this water on you, you cannot validate their cleanliness in terms of how they carry themselves, if they are worthy enough to do it for you. So once you have reached the age of majority and you have found yourself, you are employed to do these jobs yourself. Yeah. Ona igongona tondu ona riu riuma igongona riakwa na mwene magongona mothe mundu agirwo ni gukorwo ni woreikira. Should no one be doing it for you? Educate yourself, take care of yourself, and communicate with God yourself. You don't. There's no need for someone to sell you the idea that makes you handicapped in terms of communication, where there's a third party playing agent to tell God what you want. Yeah, but that's the job that they're given. Yeah, to distract and divert your efforts and your vision, so they can implant their programs and their visions. Modern education is one of those trashy processes of destroying children's future. How does it happen? How does it happen? It happens when you allow your child to go be programmed by someone else outside your supervision. That's how it happens. Yeah. But if you're responsible enough and you're taking care of your business, you do not only educate yourself, you bequeath that education to your children to aid in easier progress in their future. Not to mention money plays a huge role, since the person teaching is requiring fiat so they can do this, that, and the third. That is required in nowadays transaction. Not to mention that there is other influences, like the person selling the book is no longer just selling the book. They're making sure that you buy the book through force, coercion, and intimidation. So they embed their needs into the governing bodies of the government. So, for example, if I'm selling a book, I should just wait for you to be interested in my book. But those who are selling books for children to pretend to be educated with, they don't wait for the parent or the teacher to prescribe to their book. Now, through their corruption of lying to us that they're going to take our children and go educate them, you're forced to sell what you had so you can acquire some fiat that you don't have. All technology belongs to us. All tech. Even the Bible is ours. The only thing is how he has presented it. But all those stories, the Exodus story, the parting of the Red Sea story, the Jesus story, all this is our Helios Biblios tech. It's our tech, our technology. So the only thing they did it is rape it and give it back to us as a tool for them to exploit us with. And so did Johnston Kamau say, aka Johnston Kenyatta, aka Jomo Kenyatta said. They came with this book and they asked us to close our eyes and pray. But when we opened our eyes, they had the farms. They took all the shambas and we were left with the book. So you can see how much we have been dumbed down to believe paper is money. That is not grounded to wealth. Wealth is shamba. Yeah, the shamba. The money that we have is not based on shamba and labor. It's based on some funny calculation. They sometimes call it easy quantification or some crap like that. Money, my own natural energy yields, that's money. But what we have is fiat, which is currency. And currency goes like this water with current. And sometimes you can dam this water like the way it's dammed right now. It's somehow stagnant with a little drip on the other side. So little progress will go on down the stream while we are holding their progress hostage. Same thing with the money. You try to get the money, it's being dammed inside the bank. And they're not giving you no loan so you can extend your capacity and build more wealth. They don't want you to build wealth. They want you to stay miserable and poor. You know, we already gave these people the capacity to build this fake fiat currency, but they still deny us the access to use and acquire this fiat currency. It is our birthright to have the means and the wherewithal to do this, that, and the third that makes our life better. That's how it was before. They came and implemented this dumb process where we have to play around with the paper, but they're incapable of balancing that mathematics. Yes, it's mind-boggling how you can have these kind of humongous pieces of stones. And to imagine that this is a little piece of rock. What they used in Egypt were huge chunks of rocks. At times you hear them ranging from 80 metric tons to sometimes 150, 180 metric tons. So there are things that you cannot lift with a modern day crane system and lifts. So it's impressive to imagine that we've been shut down from understanding how to use the power that lies beneath our skin, because we are very, very powerful. But now we are unable to access it and do those amazing lifts that we used to do. Seemingly, it seems like a simple job. Since they were capable to not only build a lot of pyramids in Africa, but to traverse to other areas and build the same kind of structures easily. It doesn't seem like it was a challenge. The only time the building pyramids looks like it was a challenge is areas where you cannot find rocks. So they had to use the mastaba process and build the step pyramid like the one in Olor part of Khartoum. Yeah. The body itself is a very, very interesting vessel. Because, you know, even in this corrupted, misconstrued book, the Bible, they tell you that your body is the temple that God is supposed to be dwelling in. It is a fact. God lives inside our body. Me speaking is not the person people know. The vibration that is communicating to you is God. So I am God. I am all law. I am the law here on earth. I'm the ruler. You cannot catch me. You cannot hold me hostage. Why? Because I am the spirit. So what is the body? The body is interesting. It's just the Range Rover, the Prado, the 4x4, the spirit is using to rove around this planet. So it's a nice spacesuit, you know, with nanotechnology that is able to self-repair, self-replicate. and build up. Sometimes, your nanotechnology might decide that your 50 billion cells want to kind of flex up and get big. Sometimes they just want to play lazy and get slender. So it's an amazing body, man, and it doesn't lose pressure like the suits that the European makes to go to space. So, you can have somebody shoot you in the gut. All they'll need to do is stitch you up. You see? Put more holes, stitching. It's an amazing body. It doesn't lose its cabin pressure because of certain injuries. It will drip some liquid, very valuable liquid. Our blood with the metal that is in it. It's very precious. Our blood is like the hard drive. It keeps all that information that is accumulated through growth and experiences through billions of years. All we're doing is passing it along. So at any time when you want to do something, all you have to do is access your archives. And the blood is holding all that information. And your heart is like it's like a hard drive reader. So the blood is going around the body and the heart is stopping it, not pumping it. A lot of people done gone to these parochial Christian schools, Catholic schools. They believe that the heart is a pump. But the heart cannot be a pump. It's too small to do the job. The veins that you have on your body, all those channels that require the blood to be pumped, is the equivalent of going around this planet maybe 2 or 3 times. Yeah, I am, the child in this planet, so I have to reflect that I do come here, so I'm coded. I am 70% liquid and 30% solid, just like this planet. You see? And then, when you study the blood, you realize that it's a very, very thick material. It's not like water. You can't just pump it like that. It's holding on to the walls of those channels, the vessels, the 2 little veins it has to go through. Blood is so thick, it's like porridge. It's sticky material. It's carrying life and oxygen and metal and all sorts of other minerals that are required, and medicine to go fix areas that require repair. You see? So our blood is another subject that requires to be revisited, and the heart and how they're all working. You see? And the capillaries. The capillaries are what we're supposed to be working on. The capillaries are the ones which are pumping the blood around because they're everywhere in the body. You see? And most of us are kind of diverted from paying attention to those little things. But the devil is in the details, so you have to pay attention. The body that we are aware so far that it has about 50 billion cells. So these 50 billion cells, they are the foundation of your energizer, the 1.5 voltage that is the one cell, the one battery. Their one battery, what the manufacturer is trying to emulate or trying to replicate is your cells in the body. That's where they are forming their reason as to why they're building these batteries from 1.5 volt. Because the cells that we do have in our body, all 50 billion of them every one of them are 1.5 volt. So if we can find a way to get all 50 billion cells to be active and on and charged, 50 billion cells times 1.5. You just fly out of it. In your area, seaport or here to there. We got to be very, very conscious of what's happening in the universe, not just here on this planet or this solar system. So somehow we have been mutated or damaged to not have a clear communication with these cells. But they're out there waiting for us to get with the program so we can use them. I wonder some people feel like they can fly or they can lift such heavy stuff. But we don't have the proper foundation to access the power that we are having readily within ourselves. Because, God does not live in a weak body. So no wonder we have so much electricity going through our bodies. To the point where when you have static electricity, it can arc and you can see it. But the electricity in the house doesn't arc. Yeah, it requires some manipulation with a welding machine to arc it. And even then, you have to be really on the surface. The electricity we have, it jumps and arcs a distance, sometimes a half an inch to like an inch. Oh, we're very powerful. We are God, all of us. But some people don't put their little light to sleep. And they